Today we're going to be working with transformations with technology. This activity is going to look at transformations using the graphing calculator. So at this time, if you own a graphing calculator, make sure you have it available. If you do not, please take very good notes on where I actually use the calculator and what buttons did I press. That way when you come to class and you finish the activity, you'll be ready to go. So what I first want you to do is find the Y1 command, and we're going to press vars. My button is right here. So what should pop up is a menu. The next thing I want you to do is, it says moving left, but it should be moving to the right. So use your right button key, and we're going to go to Y vars. Next, I want you to hit 1 for function, or you can just hit the enter button, and it should pop up that says 1, and then it says Y1. We're going to hit enter again. So you should see that Y1 shows up on your calculator. Okay, we're not going to do anything with that, but I want you to know the steps at which you're going to use in order to show Y1 in the calculator. So the first one I'm going to work with you. It's called vertical translation. So we're talking about some shifts. If I look at number 1, it says I'm going to compare y equals f of x and y equals f of x plus 2. So in the calculator, let's go ahead and clear that. I want you to hit y equals. And what it tells me to do is in my calculator, I'm going to enter in y2. I'm going to type y1 parenthesis x plus 2. So in y2, remember how we went to y1? We hit vars, went over to y vars. I hit enter, and I hit enter again, and it popped up y1. I have my parentheses and x and my parentheses again, and then it says I'm going to do plus 2. And then what it says is then at one at a time, we're going to enter the following into y1, and we're going to sketch the resulting graphs. So for part A, it tells me that I'm going to type in y equals x plus 1. So in the y1 column, it's arrow up, I'm going to type in x plus 1. So here's my x key, and I have plus 1. And then I want you to go ahead and hit graph. So if I look at my graph, I have 2 different lines. I want you to go ahead and sketch both of those on A. Now if you go back to y equals, and you actually want to determine which graph, to determine which equation went with which graph, if you guys scroll using the left key button all the way over to the far left, if I hit enter, if you notice y1 becomes bolded. So now if I go back to graph, you can tell that that bolded graph was y1. So you'll know which graph went with which equation. Okay, so let's look at the next one. Okay, for B, it says y1 is equal to x squared. So here I'm going to go back to y equals, and I'm going to clear out my y1, and I'm going to type in x squared. X squared. Again, keeping my y2 the exact same, I'm going to hit graph. And again, I want you to sketch the graphs below. And if you wanted to bold y1 so that you could tell which graph was which, I scroll over to the left, I hit enter, and when I hit graph again, it's going to bold what was in y1. Okay, and then in my last example, for C, I have y1 equals 1 divided by x. So here, let's go ahead and go back to y equals and clear out y1. Okay, and I'm going to keep my y1 as my bolded so that you guys can see it better. So for y1, it tells me I'm going to do 1 divided by x. Now, 1 divided by x is a fraction. So what do I put around the fractions when I'm using a calculator? That's right, parentheses. So I have parentheses 1 divided by x. And again, leaving y2 the exact same. So here I'm going to hit graph. And that first bold graph should be my y1. And that second graph is going to be your y2. Remember, that is my rational function. Okay, so from here, I want you to sketch the graph. So you should be familiar with how to use these buttons on the calculator. And what we're going to do is you're going to go ahead and you're going to finish questions 2 all the way to 12 in class. So make sure you have example 1 done and everything is sketched. That way, if you did not have a calculator, you know how to do it, and we will finish the rest in class. Enjoy your evening.